What's going on, everybody? I am on a quest to find the perfect battery, and that's what this stream is about. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today, and I'm going to kind of show you where I'm at and what I'm preparing towards and what the goal is. And for many of us, that goal is we need a rechargeable battery that can get us to lunch. And that way we can stop using those one-time use batteries, especially for those of us who are using the single battery Lectrosonics transmitters. I just want to say welcome everyone to the stream. Thanks so much for joining me today on the journey of trying to find the perfect battery. And that's exactly what we're doing. And as you can see here, just if you want to make this fast for yourself, just in case you only have a few minutes, this is what I've narrowed it down to. As you probably could tell on the thumbnail, we've got the Energizer lithium one-time single use, which I've been using off and on for over a decade, at least. Then we've got something brand new to talk about. And under the hood of this thing is actually a 3.7 volt battery with a buck DC to DC converter and a BMS. We are at a whole new point of technology here with these lithium rechargeables. We're going to talk a little bit about the FDK factory in Japan and have a conversation a little bit about these Eneloop Pros made by Panasonic, which I've also used for many, many years, probably like a lot of you guys have. And then these Lada 2450s that I just went and did an IKEA trip the other day and picked these things up and take a look at all these. And we've also got some specifications to go over as well, which I'll be sharing with you here. As you can see, I've created a link. Some of you I've been watching you actually go to it before I launched a stream, which has the name of all of these 4 different types of batteries we're going to be working with today and discussing as I search and I am on my quest for the perfect battery. So if I didn't already say so, we are live. I want to say welcome everyone to the stream. Thank you for joining me today. I will put some time below in for comments later. So be sure and put your comments there, and we'll make sure I spend some time to do that. But I just want to stay on topic and get right to it. So the first thing I want to say is that I do not like using one-time use batteries. And what I mean by that is that it's generally very irresponsible to use, I'm actually typing in something here, a one-time use battery such as, and I'll show you here on our second camera, the lithium AA Energizer, which we are all familiar with. And the output here on 3,000 milliamp hours for a total output of 4,500 milliwatt hours at a max discharge current of 3 amps continuous, is the king of single-use batteries. And the primary issue with these batteries here is that they're expensive and they're wasteful for the environment. So I don't like to use them. But the issue becomes, as a lot of us are familiar with, is that we're wiring the talent and we can't touch them or go to them ideally before lunch. They don't want to do a battery change until, say, after lunch. Now, there are obviously solutions for this that aren't batteries, but in my case, I'm using these Lectrosonics DBSMs, which I love. I'm not using the double battery version because that would solve the problem right out of the gate with nickel metal hydride, right? But I'm using the single battery version because I like the size and the weight of this transmitter. So this battery is unfortunately been a go-to for many, many years for me when I'm working on a set where I'm not going to have access to the talent. We need to wire them, and I can't change the battery until after lunch, right? This solves that problem. Now, I absolutely do recycle these batteries, and I am responsible with them, but man, they are expensive, and man, it sure is a waste. Okay, so the other battery I want to talk about, which is kind of very, very interesting, is this brand new Xtar CLR 4300. This battery is very interesting. I have not given a lot of attention to lithium rechargeables because I have not heard great things. But this company reached out to me and they said, hey, Michael, we would like to send you some batteries. We noticed that you have work as a production mixer and we thought that you should try them out. I said, okay, great. Send them over to me. So they sent me these, and they also sent me this charger here, which is called an L8 Pro. The battery model is the CLR 4300, and it has a 2700 milliamp hour. And what's really interesting about this battery here, and I'll kind of get it to maybe where we can zoom in, you can see the CLR 4300, is that the actual milliamp hours is 2700 milliamps. But what's interesting is first and foremost, they have their own factory where they manufacture their own batteries and over 2 decades of experience. So these are not rewrapped like 90% of all batteries. So it passes that test. The next thing to know about all lithium rechargeable AA's, and in particular, the way this one is designed, is it is a 3.7 volt battery. Now you might say, wait a minute, Michael, it says 1.5 volts here. It's 3.7 volts, and it uses a buck converter that goes DC to DC and actually has a built-in BMS. And that stands for Battery Management System. So all of this is going on to help regulate the battery for some very, very interesting features. And you'll notice here that the first initial runtime, and I just started testing this battery, so I'm in the very early stages. I'll click here on here, and you'll notice that I've done 2 runtime tests. And at 25 milliwatts, I got 6 hours out of this battery. The 50 milliwatt also got to the 4.5 hour mark. Okay, so this particular battery is quite intriguing to me, and I am going to keep testing this battery because this particular system might be the future for my transmitters. But what's very interesting about this battery, besides it actually reaching a 6 hour runtime at 25 milliwatts on the DBSM digital transmitter, and the 4.5 hours on 50 milliwatts on a same type transmitter, is that the voltage curve is regulated with the BMS so it doesn't go do what a typical older style lithium rechargeable would do, which would be stay at the same voltage and then all of a sudden just drop. But I'm still testing. I'm still testing this battery, but I'm very excited about the possibility. And just so everyone knows, this is the Xtar CLR 4300, and it is a lithium ion rechargeable 1.5 volt, 2600 milliamp hour battery. So more about the Xtar batteries later. Okay. Currently, I'm doing runtime tests on the Lada 2450. I want to talk about nickel metal hydride for a second. Nickel metal hydride has very specific advantages over lithium ion chemistry for production professionals. Lithium batteries do not like to be fully cycled. And the reason why I bring that up is because transmitters like these right here that we use on set are usually powered from fully charged to fully depleted, because what we're trying to do is get through the day, right? Which is why we use a lot of these one-time use lithiums, right? Because they can accomplish that task. But when it comes to working with rechargeable lithiums, more will be revealed as I extensively test these. But we'll talk about the advantage of the nickel metal hydride. The nickel metal hydride actually do not suffer from the same breakdown of the battery that the full cycling happens in the lithium. So basically the lithium, the nickel metal hydride, not lithium, do not mind to be fully cycled. So when you use this battery in this transmitter like so, you are going to be constantly fully cycling from empty to fully charged. Now, these particular batteries are, and I made some notes here for myself, are made, and I want you to see that these are made in the FDK Takasaki plant. And there is only one plant in Japan that makes nickel metal hydride batteries. Okay? And what is awesome about that is that's how we know that these Lada batteries, and it's not officially announced, but that is the smoking gun that the Lada batteries, which say made in Japan, that you can buy in IKEA, okay, at a very reduced price, that have a 2450 milliamp hour capacity, are made in the same factory as the Eneloop Pros, because they both say made in Japan and also have dates on it. These batteries that you're looking at right here also in nickel metal hydride, I have used inside of comm transmitters, slates, timecode boxes, and guys, they are 4 years old. And I just did a refresh cycle on these batteries, basically that does a full cycle and measures their capacity and conditions the batteries on one of these chargers here, which is the my favorite charger, which is the C980. I've got these built into a Pelican case. They have a built-in fan. They have telemetry. They are amazing, okay? And these particular batteries here have a low self-discharge, or an LSD, that is proprietary to this factory in Japan, meaning that these specific batteries will not lose charge as fast as other nickel metal hydrides. And that's specific to the quality of these typical batteries. And it says for the high volume ones around 500 cycles, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to that, and these things are still working, the Eneloop Pros, like 100%. So I am still on the search for the perfect battery, but I've narrowed it down to these four here. And I'm pretty excited about the results that I'm finding, especially with these Xtar batteries, the CLR 4300s. I did want to mention that this charger here, the L8 Pro, which I've been testing as well, and I've actually got the real version here. You can kind of see it's very, very small sized. It uses a 5-volt input, USB-C, charges, I'm not sure how many amps on the 5 volts it utilizes to charge, but it's specifically designed for their batteries and also charges nickel metal hydride. So if I move in the direction of trying and to work with these rechargeable lithium ion batteries, that I can actually still integrate my Lada and Eneloop Pros in the same workflow by upgrading my charger. So that's a possibility. But I think that covers it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the stream. I'm going to say see you later, and look forward to seeing everyone here. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you haven't subscribed or hit the notifications tab, please do so. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone later. And thanks for watching. The key to a great sounding lav is 10% placement and 90% process.
Typically, I'll do a script breakdown on my iPad. Ingenuity and flexibility really are the keys here, because we have the same goal, capturing the performance.
It is this process here that inspired us to create Wire Like the Pros, a masterclass for students and professionals who have the desire to excel and go beyond just the wiring technique and tools.
Let's talk about working with the actors.
So I invite you to come over now and enroll into Wire Like the Pros at MWSOUND.net. Capturing clean